What's My Line?
Now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the popular Broadway columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in papers from coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Thank you. And on my left is the gentleman who is hired by this program because he gives such funny introductions of Arlene Francis, Mr. Fred Allen.
Until tonight, Dorothy. At my left, ladies and gentlemen, a young lady whose husband, Martin Gable, is giving a wonderful performance at the new laughing hit, Will Success Spoil Rock Hunter at the Lyceum Theater. She's really Mrs. Martin Gable, but she uses an alias on our program. And here she is, alias and all, Miss Arlene Francis.
You did fine, except it's the Belasco Theater. Lyceum.
Really?
That's all right.
They might have moved in the night.
And on my left,
The Belasco.
Yeah,
That's right,
very
I know.
good, too.
I went there the other night. It was excellent, really.
Thank you.
This came from the heart, but it got caught in my throat on the way out.
Get your heart in your throat. And on my left, the publisher of Random House Books, the columnist, and a terribly nice fellow, Mr. Bennett, Cerf.
If you'd like to know what we were doing in the dressing room before we started this show, we were playing What's My Line. It now come to the game, and they had us playing it upstairs until the slave master at my left made us stop, that distinguished gentleman, John Charles Daly.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. Once again tonight, we're up to our old tricks. We have some interesting occupations, all of them attached to some very nice people, and we have one purpose in mind, that's to tie our friendly panel up in knots if we can. We'll have a famous guest challenger a bit later, but now it's time for these experts of mine to meet our first challenger whose line has to be spotted. Will you sign in, please, ma'am?
There'll be conferences tonight.
Lila Elson, is that right? Is it Miss or Mrs.?
Miss Elton.
Miss Elson.
Yes.
Well, whole new vistas open to the young men of America. Actually, Miss Elson, our panel likes to get a chance to get a close look at challengers. So would you be good enough to walk down in front of the panel and back again, please?
Miss Elson, you didn't tell us where you came from.
New York City.
Okay.
New York City.
Hello, Miss Elson.
Miss Elson, how are you? Oh,
Hello,
pardon.
Miss Elson.
I was not trying to steal your jewelry there. It just got caught in my...
All right, Miss Elson, if you'll sit right down here next to me. And I would ask you if you're familiar with our scoring system, are you?
Yes, I am.
Fine. If you know how we score the game, let's let the folks at home and our friends here in the theater know exactly what your line is. All righty. We all set? Miss Ebson, are you all set?
Miss Elson, Mr. Daly.
Miss Elson. Sorry. I'm sorry. E-L-S-O-N.
E-L-S-O-N.
I'm terribly sorry. All right.
The L was taken down on 3rd Avenue, John. I guess you forgot. You took the L out of Elson, I mean, just because to...
Don't help him. Don't help him.
I thought I'd just wait, see what was going to happen. All right, it is Miss Elson, and my apologies,
That's
Miss
right,
Elson.
Mr. Daly.
Miss Elson is salaried. Let's begin the general questioning with Fred Allen.
You're not trying to get even, John.
No, Fred.
Miss Elson, do you work for a profit-making organization?
Yes.
You do, really? Is your organization making a profit at the moment?
Indeed.
It is. Does what you do, the work you do, require any physical activity?
Yes.
It does. Physical activity?
Yes.
You're very attractive. Is the work that you do connected in any way with show business?
Yes. I would say so, wouldn't you, Mr. Daly?
I would think there would be a reasonable assumption that it might have some connection with show business, yes.
Is the work you do you work with a living creature of some sort?
Oh, indeed. By all means, Mr. Allen.
You do. This creature is living?
Yes.
Would you consider this to be a dangerous animal?
Not at all.
I mean, it's not a...
You've got a no there, Mr. Allen. That's 1 down and 9 to go.
I'm accustomed to it, John.
Miss Francis.
Does the show business side of your position mean that perhaps you are behind the scenes?
Yes.
Do you work for somebody who is known in show business?
Yes.
Yes, I would think so.
Not known very well?
Yes.
Yes. Would this person ever appear in television?
Yes.
To find out about your job, yours is a job of service?
Yes.
Are you an assistant of some kind to someone of importance?
Yes.
Yes. Do you work then in a television program?
No.
That's 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf. You're doing fine, Miss Elson, excuse me.
Miss Elson, would the person that you work with have anything whatever to do with What's My Line?
Yes.
It has something to do with...
Yes.
Has it something to do with one of the 5 other people who are on the stage here with you now?
Yes.
Well, now let's eliminate it.
Well,
There's an
that's
I,
television.
and it can't be Arlene.
No, it isn't.
I'm just eliminating.
Oh.
Would it be that, could it possibly be that creature sitting right next to you?
Yes.
You do something for Mr. Daly.
Yes.
I think we better stop right here.
Please do.
Well, do I have to now find out what you do for Mr. Daly? Are you his secretary?
Yes.
Yes. And I
Changing her name to Ebson.
changed her name to Ebson. I must say that if there are any medals hanging around, Miss Lila ought to get one. She's been so nervous since Thursday last when she found out she was coming. She hasn't been able to do any work in the office. And I want you to go in tomorrow morning and catch up. You understand? All right. Thank you, Miss Lila. You did wonderfully, and it's nice to have had you as a guest on What's My Line. Well, we didn't fool you much with that, did we, panel? So would you sign in, please, sir? Let's see what we can do with another challenger. Arthur Murray, right, sir? And I will not now take advantage of the obvious. Where are you from, Mr. Murray?
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Fine. Would you be good enough to let the panel have a close look at you, too, by taking a walk, please?
Murray? Nice to see you, sir.
Hi.
Murray, how are you?
All right, Mr. Murray, right over here, if you will, and sit down next to me. Are you familiar with our scoring system?
Yes, sir.
Good. You know the scoring system. We'll let the folks at home, those here in the theater with us, know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, Mr. Murray is salaried, and let's begin the general questioning with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Mr. Murray, do you deal with both men and women in your work?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Allen.
Do you deal with men exclusively?
Yes.
Do you deal in services?
Yes.
Do the people, the men who avail themselves of your services, do they have to come to you for your service?
Sometimes.
They don't have to come exclusively.
No.
Do you have an office or a center from which you function?
Yes.
In a manner of speaking, I would suggest that Mr. Murray probably would admit to being ambulatory on some occasions. However, there is a base of operations where you might say you receive...
John?
Yes, Fred?
A man came up to me in an Italian restaurant the other day, and he told me that you had been in South Africa some years ago and that you would understand Kaffa. And he said, the Kaffa language, and he said that if you ever said that to me again, what you just said, that I should say Icona.
That's Chisa.
What does it mean? I didn't know what it meant.
Well, neither do I. That makes everything wonderful.
You don't understand Kaffa?
Only thing I remember, 2 Kaffa words. Chisa, which meant hot, and I used to know the one that meant cold, but I've forgotten it.
Well, mine doesn't, it wasn't, neither one was Icona, was it?
No, actually, that's a make of camera, I think.
Well, you see, really?
No, well, it could be.
Yeah, Cafe au lait.
Oh, yes, Well, I've changed the subject considerably here. Do these people benefit by what you do for them, either
Yes.
mentally or physically?
Yes, they do.
Mentally or physically. In the process of rendering your services, do you touch them in any way?
No.
You don't put your hands on them?
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Even to congratulate them?
Mr. Murray, do you give advice in your job?
Yes.
To some degree, yes.
Do you ever wear other than the business suit that you're wearing now in your job?
Yes.
Would it cover or protect you in some way in your work?
Yes, it would.
Do you work out of doors at all?
Yes.
Do you work on land?
No.
You got to start somewhere, Mr. Murray.
Now, specifically to that general question, do you work on land, the proper answer would be no, although we still reserve the right to make the point that we all, at some time or another, do perform useful functions on land, but we
if
may...
you're going to give me a no, you don't have to give me a long argument.
You got no. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Well, Mr. Murray, Arlene has certainly narrowed the field since I can't think of any great body of water anywhere near Harrisburg. That leaves the air. So by that process, is the air your natural habitat
Yes,
for the work
it
that
is.
you do? Is it something to do with an airplane, your work?
Yes.
Is the uniform that you wear that of the United States of America?
Yes.
You were then an officer? Or at least a member of the Air Corps?
Yes.
Are you an officer in the Air Corps?
Yes.
Jolly good, too.
Harrisburg. Do you do anything about a plane that goes to Gettysburg once in a while?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, do you have something to do with flying the plane?
Yes, I do.
Is it a special type of plane that we have to guess?
Yes, actually, there's a rather special assignment, and there is incidentally a special plane involved, yes.
Is it something other than a jet?
Yes.
Is it a plane used in warfare?
No.
Our small conference.
What is the Air Corps doing in it?
Balloons. They're back to balloons again. John's taking off, I think.
Well, I got a yes anyway, didn't I?
Yes.
But
To
they're
my
not
surprise.
But John got a no.
Mr. Murray's taking off right
You
now.
got it?
No, actually, I would say this, if Mr. Murray is willing, that specifically the answer would be no, but we would not deny that it might have some use as an instrument in warfare. And you can go on, Mr. Kilgallen.
But it is used in other than warfare. That's what I got the yes on. Is it a transport plane?
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Allen.
Does it have a motor in it?
Now, this is a plane, Fred. Mr. Murray, he gets running real fast, then he flaps his arms.
Well, I mean, gliders are used, but they have no...
I'm just
engines.
kidding, Fred. Your
Is
answer,
it a
the answer to your
helicopter?
question is yes.
Is it a helicopter?
A helicopter? No. 6 down and 4 to go, Miss Francis.
What's he doing up
Does
there?
Mr. Murray train? Would he use a training plane at any time?
No.
There's nothing
No.
to do with instruction in your
No,
job.
not in the accepted sense of a training plane as a plane for instruction of
Mr.
pilots.
Murray, or captain, or major, or whatever you are, does the plane that you use do some kind of tests? Do something unusual?
Yes, it does.
Has it ever established any kind of a record?
Yes, it has.
And now I have to tell you what the record is. Would it be a record for either speed or height?
Which question are you?
Am I right on one of the two?
Yes, you're right on one of the two.
Well, then I'll try speed. Am I
Should
right?
have tried height.
Speed.
Should have
That's
taken
fine.
height.
Speed in a horizontal direction.
Well, we'll just give him a no, shall we?
Height.
Well, that speed is no, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, then you established some sort of altitude records in your plane. Is that
Yes,
right?
I did.
You're a high flyer.
You're right.
Is there something more?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to flip him because I think when I tell you what it is, you'll realize you've left out the only major area of air work
He's
now.
supersonic.
Air experiment. Rocket ships. He's a rocket plane test pilot.
How could you hesitate about war? Rocket ships are
Because
very-
this is not used as a fighting craft. Now, it's used to gather information that may be subsequently used by fighting craft. But actually, the altitude record is fascinating. Major Murray, after, was it 13 tries, I believe so, wasn't it? Took her up 90,000 feet, about 17 miles, straight up stairs.
Going too
Was
far.
it fun?
Yes.
Was it fun? What did it feel like?
What does it feel like?
Well, I was very proud, a little humble, and at times quite scared.
Mr. Allen?
Did you hear any harp music up there?
Oh, I couldn't hear anything. I was going too fast for the sound to catch up with me.
You don't black out, do you, Major?
No, those
That would
that
be
do
minstrel
sometimes
show,
don't
wouldn't
come
it?
back.
You do, momentarily.
Now, what kind of a suit do you wear, Major?
Well, it's a very tightly fitted pressure suit to protect the body in case of loss of pressure. Otherwise, the blood will boil and the flight's over.
My blood boils hearing about it.
Major Murray, thanks very much. We tied him in knots, and you did a wonderful job. Thanks a lot. And now we come to the special feature of our show, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which my friends are blindfolded. The blindfolds are all in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? Thank you, panel. As you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we get right down to the general questioning, and it's a different mode of questioning. You ask one question at a time in turn, moving clockwise, and we'll begin with Arlene Francis.
Are you a performer in one of the lively arts?
Hey, now I would say that I was.
Mr. Cerf.
Well, very lively.
Have you ever performed in television?
What's that young man's name over there?
That's Mr. Cerf.
That's Mr. Cerf.
8.
Yes, I've performed in television.
Miss Kilgallen.
Have you ever performed on the stage?
Yes, I've performed on the stage.
Mr. Allen.
Do you have a weekly television show?
I didn't hear the question.
Do you have a weekly television show?
No.
Are you on every week?
No, that's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Are you better known in the theaters than you are in pictures?
Well,
What was the answer?
I can't really say.
No, actually, I would say it was, comme ci, comme ça. Mr. Cerf?
Sounds like that fellow you used to have on your radio program, Fred Ajax Cassidy.
That's right.
Are you a comedian?
No.
That's 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Have you ever played Shakespeare?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Allen.
Are you in a Broadway show at the moment?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you sing?
I would say that it was nearer that
I'm glad now.
Yes, I would say that's a yes answer, Mr. Cerf.
Are you singing anywhere in the city of New York at the present time?
I would say that I was.
Miss Kilgallen.
Singing anywhere in the city of New York? Oh, it's not possible.
He'll never get this.
Do you make records?
I would say that I've made some, and I'm in the process of making them, and I might make some at a later date.
That's yes, Mr. Allen.
Are you at the Copacabana? No.
That makes it 5 down and 5 to go, Miss Francis.
May I assume that this is not your normal speech?
You may assume it.
You are performing someplace in New York. You are not at the Copacabana. Are you appearing in a nightclub?
I'll never tell.
What?
Yes, I am.
You are.
Mr. Cerf?
Is the nightclub anywhere near Broadway?
Not in the sense that nightclubs are. No.
6 down and 4 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Are you Harry Belafonte?
Yes! In the Empire Room at the Waldorf Astoria, and tonight, if I read the papers correctly, you essayed a dramatic role, did you not, on CBS?
Yes,
Hour just before you came over to see
The GE Theater, I did my first dramatic performance with Miss Ethel Waters tonight.
You're playing an Irishman in it?
No, that I...
You could.
It was a very good role, Harry. It was just wonderful. I think you tied them up in knots, and I do
Harry
thank you for...
Belafonte, we're going to call him.
Ah, yes. Harry Belafonte, and thanks very much for being our guest. It was
Thank you
nice to
very
have
much.
you with us. All righty, we have, I think, enough time to at least get started on another challenge. Would you sign in, please, sir? You must go in English now, please.
Shorthand, Jeff.
Kirpal. Kirpal Singh, is that right, sir? Yes. This is Urdu, is it?
Yes.
I used to know Urdu, but I've forgotten all my... Well, never mind. Actually, would you tell us, first of all, where you're from?
Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York. Oh, shake again. Actually, we're running very short of time, so would you look at the panel? Panel, will you look at Mr. Singh, and will you come with me, Mr. Singh? You know how we score this operation?
Yes.
All right, then let's let the folks at home and those here in the theater know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, you have a little less than 2 minutes to see what you can do about Mr. Singh's occupation. We'll tell you he's salaried and begin the general questioning with Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Singh, do you wear that handsome turban in the work that you do?
Sometimes.
Is the turban worn with the intention of impressing the customers?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Are you in business or industry, Mr. Singh?
Neither.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Allen.
I didn't know that was a turban. I thought Mr. Singh had his muffler on high there for a minute.
Had a cold head.
Are you engaged in political work of any nature?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
Well, do you work for a profit-making organization?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Singh, are you engaged at all in the occult sciences?
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Will you deal with both men and women in your
Yes.
work? Is there anything global about what you do?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Allen. Time for one
Are you
more question.
associated with the UN in any capacity?
No.
That's 7 down and 3 to go and 10 to go and no more to go because this is going to surprise you. Mr. Singh is a marine engineer, a civilian employee of the United States Navy.
Really?
That's why he's in Brooklyn. Actually, I will say one reason, if I may say so, Mr. Singh, and Mr. Singh is with us, if you have been reading your Life magazine recently, there is a picture of Mr. Singh with his turban and, I think it was Hartman luggage, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I think it was.
And we thought you might get this and get all mixed up with show business, but we didn't need that. Thanks very much, sir, and nice of you to teach me Urdu. It was
Thank
good
you.
to have you in What's My Life. Good night. And if you think I want trouble in the office all next week, you're wrong. I forgot something. We will now go back for the record to Miss Lila Elson. Flip all the cards over. That's the way to do it. And until next week, this is John Daly saying good night, Miss Dorothy.
Good night, John. Good night, Fred.
Good night, Dorothy. Good night, Mrs. Martin Gable, who is at the Belasco.
Thank you on both counts. Good night, Bennett.
I have to run out. I want to get Singh for my supper. Good night, John.
Oh, no. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being with us on What's My Line?